What's up, everybody from the Power Ranger community? My name is Ranger Freak 95, also known as Pedro Ordonez, and I'd like to welcome you all to a brand new video. So, I finally watched it. The Power Rangers Super Megaforce Legendary War Battle. This one episode alone has been hyped up in the Power Ranger community for months and months and months when it was announced. We heard that Jason David Frank was going to be coming back to play as Tommy Oliver as the Green Ranger, and a bunch of other cameos from past Rangers like TJ from Power Rangers in Space as the Blue Ranger. You got Wes from Time Force coming back, Leo from Power Rangers Lost Galaxy, you got Carter from Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue, you got Corone from Power Rangers Lost Galaxy, you got the Green and the Yellow Samurai Rangers coming back. So they're pretty much like 10 past Rangers returning for this one episode. Now, was this worth the wait? Was it worth all the hype? Was it worth watching this episode and being an iconic episode in the Power Rangers history, just like episodes like Forever Red or To the 10th Power with Power Rangers Lightspeed and In Space teaming up? Episodes like Once a Ranger. Is it one of those kind of episodes? Technically it is, but it does not hold up to those episodes. Well, it's a lot better than Once a Ranger. I'll definitely give it that. It's better than Once a Ranger. Is it as good as Forever Red? No, it's not. This is the thing. Saban made a mistake. This is the thing. And everybody likes to say this, we cannot solely blame Saban for, anything that was wrong in Super Megaforce or the Legendary War. These are the people who we have to blame. The director, the producers, and the writers. Those are the people. They are in charge. Saban hired those people to work on the show. Those people working on the show, it's their responsibility to make the best episodes they can. And did they do that? No, they didn't. They did not succeed. So while I understand why you're pointing the blame at Saban, because they are the company, they chose these people to work on these episodes. But Saban as a company has put those same people, has put their trust into episodes like Power Rangers in Space, Power Rangers Time Force. I think his name is Jonathan Zacher. He is the director of Power Rangers Super Megaforce. He is the one in charge. So if there's anybody to blame, it's him, because he is the one that sets the direction in which the show is supposed to go in. So if you really want to blame anybody, you have to blame him for the quality of the episode. You can also blame Saban for not giving the show a better budget than it did have for that episode. But I digress with all that. Let's get into the actual episode. Okay, so overall, how good is this episode? For my rankings from bad to awesome, I think I'm just gonna give it an okay rating. It's not a bad episode. There have been plenty of bad episodes in the Power Ranger world. There have been plenty of bad episodes. Plenty of them. This is not one of them. It does succeed in giving us some nostalgia in the episode with bringing the old cast members back. Just seeing all these other past Power Rangers, even though they aren't the actual actors themselves, you do see the suits and you do see them in battle. And you see the Sentai footage, collaborated with all that. Some of it didn't make sense, because you still saw some Sentai Rangers in the episode that didn't belong there at all, which I'm going to make a separate video for and give my thoughts on about all of that. But I'm solely here talking about the episode. As usual, the main cast for Super Megaforce, the 6 Rangers, their acting has been the same kind of acting throughout the entire season. Not great acting. The only actors I can give credit to that actually do a good job are the Black, the Blue, and the Silver Ranger. They actually do a decent job in acting their, their characters. They do a decent job. The Red Ranger, Troy, sucks. Worst Red Ranger we've ever had. Pink Ranger, not so good. Yellow Ranger, meh. Not so good. Being the fact that they are a team, they need to hold together as a good acting team. And if you can't do that, then all in all, it's just going to fall flat. Whether if you do have one or two good actors in there, you guys need to work as a good group of actors, and unfortunately that just doesn't hold up for the episode. But there are some little tidbits here and there where, you could say, yeah, that was a good shot. I like the way he said those lines, the way he portrayed his emotion for a certain scene. It really worked out for the episode. There actually was one scene in the episode that I actually really did enjoy. And I was sitting back, I'm like, this is actually rather decent. I am actually enjoying this. And as from a, film student, I watch a lot of movies, and there are moments where in a movie you're like, wow, this is actually a really good scene. This actually had one of those moments. Surprisingly, I was actually rather surprised on how, entertained I was this one scene. I don't want to try and spoil everything, but at this point it really doesn't matter. There's this one scene where they, Silver and Red Ranger, go up to the Armada, like the main ship, and they fight the main bad guy, him just sitting in his chair, and just taking on the two Rangers just by sitting down. And that whole scene in that that ship with that guy was actually rather entertaining, and I really did enjoy it. But other than that, that was actually the only good scene in the whole entire episode that I could say was actually entertaining to watch. Everything else was just like, okay, it was there. The old cast that came in, they had decent, good tidbits here and there with talking, whatever, whatnot. But what are you going to expect out of a show like Power Rangers? You're not going to expect Oscar-winning, performances. Jason David Frank, Green Ranger, he always gives a good performance for who he is and who he does on the show. Power Rangers Down of Thunder, he did an excellent job. And, Power Rangers Super Megaforce, for the shots that he was there for, he did a good job, so I'm gonna give him credit for what he's done on the show. TJ, Wes, all those other actors, they didn't have much to say, and they didn't have much to do anyway with them out of their suits, so you can't really give a good review on how their acting was. Wes did say one, little speech or whatever, whatnot. It was fine, but it's just like a few lines. We can't really get anything out of a few lines, But for what he said, I guess you could say, yeah, he did a good job. But everything else, you can't really say he or she did a bad job when there really was nothing to actually review. You know what I'm saying? But everything else was okay. The fight scenes, which didn't make any quite sense because you hear Tommy's ki-ing in the background. And he's ki-ing, but you don't see him. You don't ever see the Green Ranger fight, which is the one thing that a lot of people have problems with the episode. You don't ever see Tommy fight. And wasn't this the reason why we watched this episode? Was to see him fight? Yeah, it was. So what happened with that? This episode literally should have been two-parters. I didn't watch the episode before it, but because it's not released, the Super Legendary War was the only thing that was released, and I didn't watch the episode before that. This was the only episode that had those cameos, and they didn't do a good job with portraying them as actual fighters in the episode, other than the fact that, you use Sentai footage, and they didn't use their Sentai footage for those actors that were cameoing. In this Sentai, you had the Gokaiger show where that whole battle was a full feature film. They had a lot to build up to, certain battles, with the two teams, working together, and, having that big, huge Megazord battle at the end of the Gokaiger film. 199 Hero, look it up on YouTube. It's on YouTube. It's a great Sentai film. Just watch it. They did not have a Megazord battle in the end like they did in the Sentai for Super Megaforce, which was unfortunate, but I'm not going to hold that against it because, obviously I was going to expect that from the show, so, you got what you got. There is no explanation as to how Tommy gets his powers back. There's no explanation as to how anybody gets their powers back. To the people that lost their powers, there's no explanation how they got them back. Like Ninja Storm, where did they get their powers? Weren't they drained, completely when Dino Thunder had that crossover episode with them? What happened to that? You see, what my theory was, and I was going to make a video about this, but it's too late now. My theory was that the only way that the Power Rangers were going to get their powers back is if they had the Ranger keys with them as well, and like held it up to the sky, and they got their powers back like that for the original owners of those powers. That's how I thought it was going to happen. But no, it did not happen. There was no explanation as to how they got their powers back. So, in a writing sense, this episode has very poor writing, obviously. The whole season has proof of that. Direction, not really good direction. I don't know why they went in this direction and why they ended the season like this when it could have been 100 times better. So overall, it's not a bad episode. It's an enjoyable episode. If you're just looking for, if you're looking for greatness, this isn't your episode. But if you go into the episode with very, very low expectations like me, then you're going to enjoy the episode for what it is. If you're going in there with high expectations, like this is going to be like the best episode in the Power Rangers history, you're going to come out very disappointed. That's what's going to happen. So go in there with very low expectations if you have not watched the episode yet. Very, very low expectations. So do that, and I think you might find some entertainment with the episode. Overall, it's not a good episode. It's an okay episode. For me, as a fan of Power Rangers, was I satisfied? Not completely, but I kind of was. As a fan, I'm going to give it a pass. I'm going to give it a slight pass. But this episode does not live up to the hype that, it was given. So that's very unfortunate. But I would definitely, if you're a Power Ranger fan, definitely at least give it a shot. Remember, I am not saying that this is a good episode, but I'm also not saying it's a bad episode. It's an okay episode. So there you guys have it. My review for the Super Legendary War Battle. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see a whole lot from Jason David Frank or any other actors for that matter. We didn't get to see a lot more of them. I wish we would have, and this would have been a better episode. If they would have steered more towards the original actors more than the actual main cast, I would have been completely satisfied, honestly. But they didn't do that, so unfortunately we didn't get that. Guys, I have a new Facebook page up, solely for Ranger Freak 95. Go there, like the page, and I'm going to be announcing new videos. I will post, updates on what's going on, and hey, I'll put, statuses up, so we can have discussions on the page as well. And this is just so I can get my 2 cents out there for you guys to know, what's going on. You got, if you're a fan of this channel, be a fan on Facebook. I also have a Twitter account. Just look up Ranger Freak 95. You'll find me on there as well. And guys, thank you for the love and support on this channel. 3,435 subscribers, so I'm looking at. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. I love you guys. Subscribe, comment, like, thumbs up, do whatever you guys can. Let me know what you guys thought of this episode down below in the comment section. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace out.